My name is Kelly Brown. It's just the three of us in the family, my parents and me. Usually, I relish my mother's homemade cooking, but since today is my father's birthday, we decided to dine at a fancy hotel for a change and went out. However, we ran into some unpleasant people there. The food at a luxury hotel really is delicious, isn't it? Yes, how often in life do we get to eat in such a place? We have to go all out for Dad's birthday, don't we? After all, you always work so hard for us. It was supposed to be a pleasant meal. Hey, aren't those people next to us poor? Suddenly, such a voice could be heard. I looked around, wondering whom they could be talking about, but there didn't seem to be anyone that poor around. Poor people coming here is absolutely out of place. Looking towards the direction of the voice, I saw a woman and a man with unpleasant personalities. They were looking at us and laughing. I thought, they are talking about us. Have you noticed? Places like this are meant for elites like us. It's annoying, isn't it? It makes our meal taste worse. I thought. Then leave. Dining like this is all about manners, isn't it? It's infuriating when people who don't know manners are around. Indeed, she is right. But it's not about how to use forks and knives. It's about people who speak ill of others and laugh. Even a young person like me understands that. Yet, they seem to have no clue. Hey, look at that girl's clothes. What? Does she think she's dressed fashionably? She doesn't realize how unsuitable her clothes are. They might be expensive, but the clothes are crying. It can't be helped. She must be a poor country girl. Trying to date a boyfriend like me, an elite banker, is impossible. Of course, to date someone like me, an elite banker, you need to be a capable, beautiful woman with class like you. Exactly. The two looked at us, wanting to boast about how capable they were. But would truly capable people talk down to others? I wonder if it's some sort of anniversary for those people. I thought. It's my father's birthday, what about it? I was getting increasingly annoyed and glared at the two. Glaring at people during a meal, you really are a mountain ape, aren't you? Stop it. If you say too much, you might get tangled up with a monkey. Monkeys are vicious these days. I thought. This is infuriating. It's my dear father's birthday celebration. Kelly, let it go. The lower someone's intelligence level, the more they talk about others like that. They are just pitiable people who don't realize their own foolishness. That's right. Smart people don't talk like that. Exactly, today is your father's birthday. We should be thankful that our always hardworking dad was born, not be swayed by foolish words. Thank you. But such expensive food feels a bit wasteful. Not at all. I'm grateful that you've stayed healthy and made it through another year. Thanks to your hard work, we get to eat such delicious food. In our family, we splurge only on Dad's birthday. I'd like to ask who's the most important, but it seems our family exists because of our kind father. Having a child like me is because of Dad, and that's okay. But while we were having that conversation, those people were still laughing. Hey, it's nice that their family gets along, but just because it's a birthday doesn't mean it should be this special, right? We eat this kind of meal often, but it feels less special, don't you think? Maybe we should occasionally eat something humble like them. Then maybe we could appreciate it as much as they do. But that wouldn't quite suit us elites, would it? That's true. I wonder what they usually eat. I suppose it's something like beans or bread. Only cheap stuff, right? I thought. Don't make fun of beans. Whether it's beans or bread, it's delicious enough, but they're ridiculing it too much. I thought. Apologize to the producers. Also, doesn't it smell a bit poor here? Huh? Do you smell something? Yes, it's a very poor smell. A poor smell. That's troubling. As an elite, I can't understand such smells. Ah, now that you mention it, that's true. I come from an elite family, and I'm an elite myself. Now that you've pointed it out, I realize I wouldn't understand what being poor is like. But somehow, I just feel it. What does a poor smell even smell like? It's a difficult metaphor. When I look at those people, that's what I think. Well, that's certainly true. I mean, look at that mother. That ring, it might be supposed to be a diamond. Ah, it's just a big piece of glass. That's what I thought too. It must be imitation, right? They come to a place like this and try hard by wearing it. But it's imitation. And it's not even glass. You can tell by the way it shines, it's different right away. Mother's hand stopped. Of course, she would be angry. After all, my mother loves jewels. Being called an imitation is an insult. Seeing my mother like that, my father was about to stand up. But my mother stopped him. Don't stoop to their level. I'm fine. There's no point in dealing with ignorant people. Ah, yes. Ah, yes. But it seems that my father is quite angry. Even though he is usually gentle, he ended up stabbing his fork into his plate. Stop the pointless chatter. Even though I think this, it doesn't reach them, and they continue to mock us while sipping champagne and enjoying their delicious meal. I thought, it's a pity that such people get to eat this food. Just when I thought that, my father said, it's a pity that such people get to eat this food. Oh, like father, like daughter. We were thinking the same thing. Then, my mother, who found it hilarious, desperately tried to hold back her laughter. You're too funny. But, it's really what I think, right? Of course, I think so. It's impossible not to. Hey. Those poor people are incredibly rude. Ah, that's true. As he said that, the man stood up with a champagne glass in his hand. Then he stood next to my father and tilted the champagne glass over my father's head. Poor families should disappear. Instinctively, both my mother and I screamed. I immediately handed a napkin to my father, but my mother reacted differently. What are you doing? I was just giving him some champagne to drink. I can tolerate verbal attacks, but this is unforgivable. If you don't like it, just leave. Which bank do you work for? You keep saying you're an elite banker, but it must be some unknown regional bank, isn't it? Oh, don't joke, lady. He's from Metropolitan Bank. Oh, Metropolitan Bank. I can't believe people like you are part of such a major bank. You're pretending to know, but a poor person like you wouldn't have any connection with such a bank, would you? Think whatever you want, but you'll regret this. I wonder what I'm going to regret. When my mother smirked, the manager came rushing over. He apologized desperately to my mother and asked my father if he was all right. Wow, you're so submissive to poor people. We're having a bad experience here too. Let's go home. I can't bring myself to eat in a place with people like this. Let's reschedule for another day. That's right. We were supposed to have a surprise cake for my father, but it seems we won't be able to have it today. Now that the poor people are gone, let's eat in peace. I could hear the pleased voice of the woman from behind. The next day. Kelly, we're going to Metropolitan Bank. Drive me there. Huh? Metropolitan. Wasn't the banker from yesterday from Metropolitan Bank? Yes. That's why we're going. What are you planning to do? Closing my account. It seems my mother's anger from yesterday has not subsided. My mother runs a major company that everyone wants to work for. I work there as a driver and my mother's secretary, and my kind father works as the vice president. At home, they are gentle, but once they start working, my mother becomes a different person. My father is friendly and always smiling, but my mother is very strict and shows no mercy in her work. So, when my mother says she's going to Metropolitan Bank, I sense a storm brewing. Upon arrival, call the manager, please. Without taking a number, she said to a female employee. You need to take a number. Never mind that. Call the manager. The teller, intimidated by my mother's commanding presence, said, Please wait. And ran to the back to speak to the manager. The manager's face clouded, but as soon as he saw my mother, he came running. President, what can I do for you today? The word President caused the other customers to turn and look puzzled. Of course, they would, as both my mother and I were in work clothes. People who know my mother would recognize her immediately, but those who don't might think, What's with this old lady? She looks like a worker or something. However, this is my mother's trademark. Please cancel the accounts for 10,000 of our employees. Excuse me? Please come inside for a moment. Hearing about the cancellation of 10,000 accounts would certainly cause a stir and panic. But my mother's company has its payroll deposited directly into a major city bank because it's cheaper in terms of transaction fees. I remember my mother once said, I'll open accounts for 10,000 employees, so make the fees cheaper. Classic her. But wouldn't changing banks increase the fees? She must be aware of that, but she seemed angry enough not to care. Inside, there was a VIP reception room. Leather sofas were placed around, and the room was decorated with an expensive-looking vase, fresh flowers, and paintings that were probably replicas. As we sat on the sofa, coffee was quickly prepared and a delicious-looking cake was brought out, but my mother didn't even glance at it. I thought, It looks tasty, too bad the mood isn't right for eating. The manager sat down in front of my mother and started. Thank you for coming today. Save your greetings. Yes. So, I said I want to cancel the accounts for 10,000 employees. And the payroll deposits, what will happen with those? We'll contract with another bank. But doing so, I believe the fees will increase. The bank obviously wants to keep the business. Mentioning the fees is natural. I know that. We've already made arrangements. I thought. That was quick. I recall she was on the phone after we got home yesterday. Was that what it was about? You've made arrangements? Yes, we've contracted with another bank that offers even lower fees. Thanks to your stupid employee, our company has managed to save even more. With that, my mother smirked. But our bank offers exceptional fees, and it's hard to imagine someone offering lower. That's for you to figure out with corporate effort. Your company has branches overseas. Are you switching to a bank that has overseas branches? Of course. I see. So, hurry up with the cancellation. Yes, I understand, but could you please explain a bit more? What is there to explain about a cancellation? Why did you suddenly decide to cancel? We've had a long relationship with your company. Why now this? You want to know? Yes, I can't imagine someone like you making such a decision without serious reasons. Then, my mother took a deep breath and began explaining what happened yesterday. Yesterday was my husband's birthday. A birthday. Congratulations. We thought we'd enjoy a dinner at a high-end hotel as a family. That's very nice. However, we met one of your employees there. That employee called us poor. What? To you? I don't care that we were called poor. But he insulted my daughter, and on top of that, he poured champagne on my husband's head and laughed, saying, Poor families should disappear. Can such disrespect be tolerated? That is. Can you imagine how angry that made us feel? That is indeed valid. But, are you sure it was an employee from our bank? Yes. He boasted about being an elite banker. When asked which bank, he said the major city bank. Moreover, he told me, a bank like ours has no ties with poor people like you. That is. Then it's time to sever those ties. I am terribly sorry. Could you tell me the name of this person? I don't know his name, nor do I want to. I would like to call him here to apologize. I'm not here to complain. I came here to tell you to cancel our accounts. Of course. The cancellation process is ongoing, but with 10,000 accounts, it will take some time. I hoped we could use this time to let him apologize. Fine. I don't know his name. But my mother then described in detail what the man looked like yesterday. It's impressive how well she remembers, but perhaps it's that level of observation that allows her to run such a large company successfully. The manager noted down the features described by my mother, excused himself, and stepped outside the door. He soon returned with 3 men. Is the man from yesterday among these 3? When the manager said that, a man spoke up. You, from yesterday. Why is that old lady here again? A bank employee, especially one from the Metropolitan Major Bank, should not be calling a customer in the VIP reception room. Old lady. I thought. This guy is a real idiot. That remark ended up revealing the identity of the man from yesterday. Scott. It was you. Both of you, please go back. As the manager said that, the 2 went back. This person is an elite at this bank? Someone who uses words like old lady to a customer? I'm terribly sorry. What are you, acting all high and mighty? Why is a poor family like yours even here? Came to taste the flavor of wealth a bit? You. Stop saying rude things. They are important clients. Manager, don't be fooled. These people are not wealthy at all, they're just poor. Even yesterday, they were at a fancy restaurant, only because it was her husband's birthday dinner. If they were wealthy, they wouldn't need to come out specifically for an anniversary, right? They should be able to come to such places regularly. Hey. You. In fact, her husband was amazed to have a meal at such a place, wondering how often in life one could do that. Clearly, they are poor. Hey. Stop that. Do you see now, manager? This is the true nature of this man. Do you think we can keep an important corporate account at a bank where such a man works? You are absolutely right. It's true, but having to close 10,000 accounts. Honestly, if we lose all those accounts, it would be a significant blow to our bank. It would really be a disaster. So, please let me make him apologize properly and reconsider. Impossible. You think it's okay to just endure having champagne poured over my husband's head? Would you endure it if it were done to your wife, manager? What's the big deal, it's just champagne. You don't usually get to drink it, so I was doing you a favor. You should be thankful. Do you even realize who I am? I apologize. Scott is indeed a capable employee. However, since his main duty is external affairs, he isn't aware of internal matters. You don't know internal matters? My employees are well versed in matters outside their immediate responsibilities. We train all our staff to avoid such issues. Generally, if you don't remember a customer's face, considering you never know whom you might meet or where, you should maintain a courteous demeanor. Isn't it extreme ignorance? Or maybe your head isn't quite up to par. What? I graduated from a prestigious university, I am an elite. You have no right to talk to me like that. Yes, an elite graduate, but that's only up to today. What do you mean? Probably, by tomorrow, you'll be wandering the streets, or have fallen off the elite path and be on a downward spiral. Why? Scott, the customer is right. Manager, what's gotten into you, taking this old lady's words seriously? I'm not just taking her word for it. It's the truth. Why? This is the president of Brown Corporation. Next to her is her daughter and secretary. Huh, Brown Corporation, that Brown? Yes, that Brown. No way, so, the person with her yesterday was my husband, the vice president. Vice president. You have committed a great disrespect towards the Brown family. I'm terribly sorry. Scott then sat down and apologized. But my mother did not forgive him. An apology now is too late. You should have thought of that while at the fancy hotel. How foolish of you. But that's just who you are. And yes, you said my ring was imitation, didn't you? Look, I'm wearing it today too. Take a good look. Do you think it's imitation? It seems she was still holding a grudge from yesterday's jewelry insult incident. Scott apologized again. What do you mean? This person said my ring was glass. I don't wear fakes. He said it shines differently. It's a 20-carat top-quality diamond. I wonder, what kind of shine does he think a real one has? I'd like him to teach me. I apologize. Yesterday, I was with my girlfriend and wanted to show off, so I said those things. Please forgive my momentary lapse. President, Scott is reflecting on his actions. Please forgive him. Reflecting, you say? Do you think everything is forgiven just because he's reflecting? Continue the contract because he's reflecting? Seal a deal because of that? Do you think that works in corporate dealings? Indeed, that's right. If such things were permissible, work between representatives would be easier. But that's not how business works. In other words, it's not that easy. Please, let's work something out. Manager, it's because you are so lenient that this man behaves this way. Do you understand that it's your responsibility as a supervisor if you let your employees think they're elites and scoff at customers? You are absolutely right. If our company closes 10,000 accounts, wouldn't that endanger not only this man but also your position, manager? I recognize your spirit to save your subordinate, but you should think about yourself as well. Ah, indeed. What, manager? That is correct. It seems the manager had not thought that far ahead. Nevertheless, unable to yell. It's your fault. Right there, the manager, with a pale face, was desperately apologizing and pleading to withdraw the cancellation. We will not withdraw. We have already contracted with another bank, and even if each account is just 1 cent cheaper, we save $1,000 a month. What do you think happens if it's 3 cents cheaper? That's a $3,000 cost reduction. Scott, I thank you. Your rudeness has led to us saving expenses. Sometimes disrespect can indeed benefit the customer. So no matter how much I apologize, you won't forgive me, right? That's right. I have no intention of forgiving you. After what you've done. Then, apologizing is just a loss. What did you say? I mean, here I am, an elite, even apologizing, and you're still acting all high and mighty. I admit you were not poor, but I really don't understand why I have to go this far for you. Scott, enough already. Manager, whatever we do, the cancellation will happen. Once the cancellation process is complete, they won't be our clients anymore. There's no need to keep humbling ourselves. It's that attitude of yours that caused this mess in the first place. Your actions are putting our bank in a serious situation. Manager, what are you talking about? We are a major city bank. The disappearance of 10,000 accounts is not a big deal. Let's think bigger. Idiot. If the president hears of this, both your head and mine are on the line. Don't you understand? That's not true. Maybe you'll be fired because you're management, but I'm protected by the union. Relax, relax. Ah, I regret apologizing now. Scott, you bastard. What a commendable subordinate you have. Because of you, I am. You're fired, huh? But that's none of my concern. You're the manager, after all, the ultimate responsibility is yours. At that moment, the door was knocked and a female employee came in. Manager, the cancellation of the 10,000 accounts is complete. Ah, it's done. I see, it's done, good job. Saying this, he collapsed into a chair. So, Scott, right? I'm well acquainted with the president, and I'll make sure to inform him well about you. How a terrible employee like you exists in his bank. What? So, you should worry about your own job more than the manager's. No matter what, I will make sure you are fired. No way. After saying that, Mother laughed loudly and left the room. From beyond the closed door, the manager's shouts and Scott's cries of despair could be heard. Following that, the cancellation of 10,000 accounts caused a huge uproar, potentially leading the bank to bankruptcy. The president came multiple times asking to renew the contract, but Mother refused, stating she couldn't trust her employees' money with a bank that employed men like Scott. However, she promised to help in other ways in consideration of the president, and in return, she ensured Scott's disciplinary dismissal. Thanks to that, Scott was ousted from the bank, and the incident became so significant it made the news and sparked a major reaction online. As a result, Scott struggled to find re-employment. Not even an unknown consumer finance company would hire him, I heard. Now, he's buried in day labor in Brooklyn's Skid Row. After canceling 10,000 accounts, Mother went straight to another city bank to set up new accounts. Of course, not all employees had accounts, but Mother had them set up immediately. Although there were complaints from the employees initially, once the high-end hotel dinner incident came to light and all employees learned of it, the president's actions to protect their pride were highly praised. And just like that, any complaints against the president quickly disappeared. Moreover, the fact that she acted as a wife outraged by the treatment of her beloved husband also garnered high praise. Amazing, Mom. What is? Your article on social media, it's getting a tremendous number of likes. Really? I wonder who's liking it. It's over 10,000, so it's not just from our employees. I see, when I write about your father, it really gets likes. Your father is popular. Maybe I should consider merchandising him. What? Unsure whether she was serious or joking, Mother was laughing. But later, she really did start merchandising, creating goods that sold incredibly well. Watching my mother, who is always keen on turning everything into a business opportunity and converting anything into money while protecting her family and her employees, I wonder if I can ever become a president like her. Seeing such a steadfast mother, I'm proud to be her daughter and determined that one day, I will surpass her.